Entering Pittsburgh and the confluence of the Three Rivers, Heinz Field, the site they've been tailgating for a long while, getting ready for unbeaten UCF to visit after the Knights demolished them last year. And you want an enigma and a hot debate. It is, where does UCF belong in the rankings? Whether it's a college football playoff or otherwise, they have a dynamic offense. We know that. Can't stop them from scoring 30 points, but it's all over the map what people think about UCF and where they belong and how much respect they should get and all of that goes along with it. So Jason Benetti, Rod Gilmore, Quint Kesnick downstairs. The question I have for you is, where does UCF belong?
Well, talking to the coaches and players yesterday, they're not trying to hear any of this noise. I mean, they are on message, talking about one game at a time, 1 week at a time. I know this. They should be ranked higher than where they are, certainly higher than Michigan after today's performance against Wisconsin. But the debate will rage on until we get to the end of the season.
Well, Stanford got a face full of it last week, and they saw that high-powered offense, including the freshman quarterback, Dillon Gabriel.
Yeah, Dillon Gabriel put on a show last week against Stanford. True freshman quarterback, had another Gabriel Davis outside who had a great day against an All-American corner. And look at that. TD passes, 9 of them already, and the yardage last week by Davis, and he was stoked for that game. And they're both stoked for this game, another Power 5 team where they say they want to go out and prove that they're a great program and be dominant, but they're not talking about the rankings.
At least not for now, early in the season. But will the pocket be clean for Gabriel today against Pitt?
Well, this is Pitt's really only shot, is to play great defense. And remember, we are talking about a freshman quarterback, and Pitt has gotten after the quarterback. So to harass him and to confuse him is the game plan, and to bring some of the pressure they've shown in the first part of the season with 12 sacks. If they can get to him, rattle him a little bit, they believe they have a chance in this ball game, because it is all about the Pitt defense.
It's a Pitt team that hung around with Penn State and had a chance to tie that game late last week, 17-10 that final score. But UCF has scored at least 30 points in every game for the last 29. Quint Kesnick is downstairs, and you'll know who has the ball based on the tempo, right, Quint?
Well, pace makes the race, and this is quite a contrast in tempo. When you look at UCF, in the first half of games this year, they're averaging 50 snaps in 2 quarters. Okay, that's the fastest in the FBS. They have overwhelmed opponents. It's been an onslaught right from the start, where they snap the ball every 7 to 12 seconds on offense. Now, Pitt is the opposite. They use a huddle. It's actually a walkover tempo, where quarterback Kenny Pickett will walk over to offensive coordinator Mark Whipple. They'll talk, they'll discuss the play call, and then he'll walk back to the huddle. So we've got hyperspeed versus the snail.
Well, everybody says attention spans are just a little too short nowadays. So if you like the old school stuff, Rock and Pittsburgh, they're the team that you're going to be rooting for today.
Yeah, but the one thing about the tempo with UCF, as Pat Narduzzi told us yesterday, you don't know how fast it is until you face it. And they faced it last year, so they feel like they have an idea. They think that Stanford playing UCF last time, facing it for the first time, were overwhelmed at the start because of the pace, because that man, Josh Heupel, has this system, and it really is intended to not just physically task you, but to mentally task you at the start of a game. They are a big play offense. They want to start fast. They want to score and get out ahead of you, almost like this shock and awe to start the game and make you forget where you are and lose your game plan and everything. And before you know, it's 21-0.
The strong leg kicker, Alex Kessman, ready to boot it away for the Panthers. Now for UCF, another big game. Every game's huge for them, but another Power 5 opponent, this one on the road, and another chance to prove where they might belong at the end of the season. Kessman on the approach. And that ball is flying away. So a touchback will get the ball into the hands of the quarterback, Dillon Gabriel. He's the freshman out of Mililani High School in Hawaii. And he takes over for Brandon Wimbush, who initially got some reps at the quarterback position this year. We may see Wimbush, we may see Darryl Mack as well, who closed the season last year after the injury to Mackenzie Milton, who has been a major mentor from the same high school as Dillon Gabriel.
Well, he took over for Milton in high school, and ironically comes here and takes over for him as well after having said no to USC and Georgia and choosing UCF.
Originally an Army commit, then the offers started to flow as UCF will try to establish the run game, but everything circles around Gabriel and his handling of maybe the toughest defense he's going to see.
Yeah, I think that's right, and he is a guy who loves to throw the deep ball and throws it very well.
They use the running backs in the pass game, but McCray is absolutely swallowed up by the Florida transfer, Kylan Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson is a fast linebacker, as you mentioned, from Florida. They lost 3 starting linebackers from last season, and he stepped right in to fill a need. Now you see, you put him in a 3rd and long, it slows the pace down a little bit. They want to be certain about the formation and what they're getting in, and now you've got Pitt getting settled and lined up.
Thumbs up part of the play call. We'll see if the thumb stays up. On 3rd and long, and down goes Gabriel. Another sack for the Pitt defense. This is Patrick Jones.
Yeah, that Patrick Jones inside again. Get him into 3rd down and then use your pressure inside. Gabriel, who was very comfortable last week against Stanford, not comfortable at all here. And that time you had a back, McCray, trying to handle that big Jones, 260 pounds. That doesn't going to work out too well.
Did not go so high. The chants of overrated have started for the first time in game, but they were happening pregame here at Heinz Field, and you don't know if you want to poke the bear as French is out of bounds. They've blown it dead for Maurice French. And Kenny Pickett, junior quarterback for Pitt, which has been a school that's provided some outstanding quarterbacks. Pickett's been very accurate the last couple of weeks, but he hasn't had the big play theater that maybe you'd like.
Well, I think that's right, and there's also a certain amount of pressure on him and also on the offensive coordinator, Coach Whipple, because they really haven't scored much. They haven't done much on offense and haven't really picked up, the defense at all. But he's completing 69% of his passes, but he wants to get his team into the end zone more.
We saw last night talking to the UCF players, they have a chip on their shoulder looking for some respect, maybe not outwardly. But Kenny Pickett's a very competitive young man as well. He played baseball and basketball and football all in high school. He's out of New Jersey and says he still misses baseball some. And the Pirates play just down the road if he wanted to get a little tour every once and again. Yeah. Former shortstop.
Well, the cool thing is that having played baseball and been an infielder, it helps him throwing on the move.
Play action for Pickett. He goes down the middle and he's got a first down. It's Taysir Mack, who had an outstanding game against Penn State with 12 catches.
A nice, clean pocket. Get your quarterback some confidence. The play action, and then bring Mack right back in front of him. Easy throw, easy read.
A.J. Davis is the tailback. He's used pretty often in the passing game as well. This is on the ground, and Davis picks his way into plus territory. That's a strong start for Pitt.
Well, Stanford started strong too. Stanford was able to run the ball against UCF, but because their offense started to dominate, it took Stanford out of the rushing attack. So Pitt believes that they can run as Stanford did until the game got away from them.
Saw Jimmy Morrissey, the anchor of this line for Pittsburgh. 3rd team All ACC last year in his 27th start, and he leads the way for a first down run. Pitt has not been a juggernaut in the first quarter so far this year.
Yeah, they haven't started fast at all.
At 1-2 with a conference loss already to Virginia in the opener. Pickett made some pretty good decisions against Penn State last week on when to tuck. There he gets a couple of yards.
Generally you need your quarterback to escape the pocket 3, 4, 5 times a game to pick up a first down or get you something. Here's the walkover that Quint was talking about. Instead of standing out there looking for the signal, he walks over and talks to his coordinator.
He's able to process the entire play. There's also some extra dialogue where Coach Whipple will say, hey, watch the safety. If it's not there, check it down. And it allows the young quarterback to mentally process the play fully.
Every once in a while, you should come up to the booth so we can make eye contact with you as well, Quint. Just if the system works like that. He'll dump off to set up 3rd down and medium. But that's the point. I mean, Mark Whipple's been criticized a little bit for it being somewhat antiquated, but he feels like with a new quarterback, he can get a message just in the eye contact.
Well, it's a new offense. He's still learning it. He's a young quarterback, so he wants as much hands-on time with him as he can get. Here's a big third down for them because you're in UCF territory.
He looked off the tailback Carter and fires for Mack again. It's a first down for Pitt just outside the 30.
How about the patience in the pocket? He gets a clean pocket. He knows that his reads are to the middle and left, and he waits for Mack to come across. As you mentioned, look to the tailback and just read off of that defender. Defender goes outside. He throws inside to Mack. They have a tight end in the backfield. This is essentially a two-back set.
Let's grab the tight end as this goes to Matthews. Aaron Matthews, a Nehemiah job inside the 5-yard line. That was pretty.
Well-designed play. They go max pro here and just bring Matthews across underneath as if he's a tight end, and a little athleticism at the end there.
Same high school as Tyler Boyd, who had that sort of athleticism as well. They watched him for a while at Pitt. A.J. Davis picking his way, crashing down the door. Is he in is the question. Yes! Touchdown Pitt! Good time for their first quarter touchdown.
Well, it's a counter play. Tremendous block by Gabe Hoy coming around and allowing Davis to get into the end zone. So the rushing attack that they thought they could open with has been there so far.
Extra point for Kessman. Which do you prefer? Is it the high road or the low road, Rod Gilmore? Because on this drive, we saw both for the Panthers.
Yeah, and they mixed it well. You know, they got a nice pass, but how about going up and over? That works too. Matthews setting up the touchdown for Mr. Davis. Pitt is up.
Trivia question. You duck. Who were the quarterback and head coach of the last team to beat UCF in the regular season? It's been a long time. Can you reach that far back in your memory bank to figure out what the answer is? It's a two-part question. We'll give you no credit for half.
Do I get to participate? I'll bet you 25 bucks.
Well, that's a little rich for my blood. Dinner was expensive last night. Our answer, our Aflac trivia answer. You have it?
Yeah.
You got it? Who is it?
I'm thinking Willie Taggart.
Yep.
At USF, and I think his quarterback was Flowers.
It was Quentin Flowers.
All right.
War for I-4. Quentin Flowers, Willie Taggart. Your correct answer. It's all the way back November 26th of 2016. So can A.J. Davis and Pitt be that next team to do it? Will Kenny Pickett be that quarterback? We'll find out along with you.
Think about that. They haven't lost a regular season game since 2016. That's crazy.
It's a remarkable run, and they've done it with two separate head coaches as well. There's Gabe Davis, who doesn't have the same free roaming room as he did early against Stanford last week.
Yeah, last week Stanford was outgunned, outmanned, outnumbered.
Do you think they're outplanned too?
They were outplanned too.
Second down and into double coverage and incomplete. You know, flag comes in late marker, and the crowd revolts.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, 10-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Charles Lamartina, our referee, with the call. It goes on Alexander, and it's a holding call.
Yeah, the crowd thought it was a pass interference call down the field, but not it. It was Alexander with the hold early on.
This game could feature a handful of pass interference calls, as both teams like to play press coverage on the outside.
A lot of mutual combat references from our resident DB in the booth, I feel like, are coming. We'll find out. They've got some speed at the running back spot. Adrian Killens breaking free, and a shoestring tackle for Hamlin. Maybe saved a touchdown.
This is just a counter run, one of their top plays. They've got athletic linemen. They pull them from right to left, and they get it set up nicely.
Killens, a senior, a 36-yard hit. This one flutters and is intercepted. Picked off by Phil Campbell for the first Pitt turnover of the year.
They've been harassing Gabriel here for the pick. Wow, what a start.
How about it? The Cats are shimmering so far at Heinz Field this afternoon. Dillon Gabriel's first interception of the year into the arms of Phil Campbell III, his first career interception as well. And so Pitt gets the ball back after a march down the field, culminating in a Davis touchdown on their opening drive. The Panthers trying to be the team to shock UCF. Kenny Pickett to throw. Pickett down the middle and a jumping grab for Mack.
They just caught him sitting in a soft 2-deep zone, and Mack found that soft spot right over the middle.
When Pickett said he loves throwing on the move, we both had the same thought, like, oh, he had to have played shortstop, and that was absolutely true. It was his first position. Pickett had time to set up. Now he dumps it off for Davis, and A.J. Davis dragging Mitchell near the first down marker. Who wants it more right now? The answer is the guys in blue.
Or you see the Pitt players struggling, battling for the extra yard. You see Pickett hanging in there, staying alive as long as he can to get rid of the ball to Davis. So there's a lot of want-to right now in this Pitt offense.
Well, they've got the Hall of Famers here this weekend, and you know that name Tony Dorsett rings around the Pitt hallways certainly, as Davis, off a little hesitation, has a first down to the 40.
He was shocked. He was so wide open. Hey, Davis got that ball, and he couldn't believe the hole that he had in front of him. He kind of stopped and went, oh, I thought I needed to make a cut, but I guess I'll just keep going.
Watch this.
He's shaking his head now. Look at this. He gets there. He's like, wait a minute.
So Pickett remains in the game at the bottom of the screen as a wide receiver, and Nick Patty, the redshirt freshman from New Jersey, checks in to play quarterback.
Yeah, they got French up top. Yeah, this is the matchup with French when they can get to it. Oh!
It's Patty instead who pulled it back, and Nick Patty rummaging down to the 16.
Correct assumption by UCF that Patty was in there for a reason. Some sort of a gimmick play.
Good start to his season. Good start for Pitt against unbeaten UCF. Josh Heupel trying to fire up the troops. 7-0 Pitt. College football returns after this message and a word from our ABC station. Well, it is a beautiful day here in Pittsburgh, but UCF may be a little tense. No calm river cruise right now for the Knights, who have their first scoreless first quarter since about midway last year. They did win that game 37-10, but Pitt has run 21 of its 28 plays in Josh Heupel's territory.
But if you are a UCF fan, the good news is, with all that, they're only down 7.
Maybe not for long. French, jet sweep. Maurice French seeking the end zone, and he's out of bounds at the 2.
Yeah, he's the guy we talked about that would get more touches. This is the jet sweep. This is not a surprise to UCF. They knew he would be running this. But again, when you get a good block on the edge, as they did that time by their tight end Greg, that jet sweep will work.
He started here as a defensive player, now on offense, and Pitt's very happy about that. French again turns the corner for 6. So we asked him, Maurice French, who's the big play man for Pitt. He's got 2 F's in his last name. It's F-F-R-E-N-C-H. And we asked him what the second F stands for, and he debated for a moment. He said fast or flash or fantastic.
And then he told you the truth. The truth is, his parents gave it to him. It's a kind of a Jamaican thing. Look at the resourcefulness of Pickett. And then the nice move by Fritz. Where did this Pitt offense come from? Where has this been for 3 weeks?
He's got a great sense of humor about it. And patience.
Yeah, the substitute teacher thought that he was messing with the teacher because that's what you do to substitutes. First down for Killens and UCF, and he's slung out of bounds. The question is, will we see, if this continues, will we see more of Brandon Wimbush, who got 1 play in the first quarter? He is more of the running quarterback. It's been a great game, but the music makes it better. Killens is drilled.
Another TFL. This time it's done by Morgan.
And now they're going to go fast anyway, even after a loss. 3rd down and 14. UCF does not look like the Lamborghini they looked like last week against Stanford.
Well, the matchup that they like is in the slot.
Oh, a run on 3rd and 14,
wow.
Rod.
That is so uncharacteristic of them. This is usually a high-flying, take-your-shots kind of offense.
Josh Heupel told us he wanted 15 pass plays of 20-plus. He wants that many shots, but they decide not to take it on a 3rd down and long. And they'll instead say discretion, the better part of valor, and send out Osteen, who replaces Mac Loudermilk, the punter from last year. Oh, they got there! Ball's live inside the 20 and picked up by Pitt for a touchdown. They got a special team score from Davis. Morgan got in there to bat it, and Pitt is riled up.
I'll tell you, Matthews was in there so fast, he could have blocked that with his entire body. There's a kick 6, a little scoop and score after the block.
Davis brings it in. Extra point good for the Panthers. Wow. A shocker here at Heinz Field with a lot of time left, but this is one-sided as you can get.
Some hangover from last week, some physicality from last week to this week against another tough team. I don't know, you tell me.
I'll tell you, yeah, Rod, I'll tell you, it's not the same team emotionally. In the bounce house, yeah, they may have brought their warm weather here to Pittsburgh, but emotionally they're flat.
Last time they trailed by this much in the second quarter, Larod Stevens-Howling was running the ball for Pitt, and they played their first meeting in this series.
And Q, just to follow up with that, that is the kind of discussion that happens in the committee room with those coaches. Those coaches will tell the others, look, week to week, emotionally and physically, it is a different deal when you are playing a tough or a physical opponent week after week as opposed to getting up for 1 or 2 for the season. Now, that doesn't mean that UCF can't come back in this ballgame. It's just the reality of what people talk about when they evaluate your schedule. This is one of the criticisms, that you don't have to do this week after week, as they are doing this second week now after having Stanford last week.
And that's the point. The story could change here in the second half, but for now, that's what people are feeling who are critics of UCF. McCray gets drilled. Phil Campbell, who had the pick earlier, and 2nd down coming up.
And UCF doesn't have a spark. I mean, Q talked about them being dead there. They need a spark. Someone has to pick them up.
They have 3 receivers at the bottom. Campbell was laid over. And another run. McCray has a first down for UCF. Now, yes, they're down 21, but yes, the pedigree is there as well. They're 28-1 in their last 29 games. They've won 25 straight regular season games, sometimes in comeback fashion, but this is a deficit they have not seen under Heupel or Scott Frost. and we'll see how they react with a freshman quarterback.
Yeah, and they keep running this counter. That's a bread and butter play for them, and they've had only partial success with it. It's critical to their passing game. They run play action off of it.
There's play action. Gabriel a little too high. It's incomplete. Paris Ford on the coverage, and third down is on the way.
Yeah, and this gives Pitt time to bring in their third down defense. Now they will dial up the pressure inside. They've got 6 defensive backs out there.
Danielson was last off the field, and the new D-line gets there. Baldonado, the Italian native, with the sack.
Coach Heupel's all over the official on the far side, claiming that Pitt had more than 11 players on the field.
Well, they may have, but you got to give the refs time to count them. And if you're going fast trying to get them, it's a bit of an issue.
Danielson right at midfield. He did get off.
Yeah.
Seventh tackle for loss for Pitt today. What a bounce for Osteen. Inside the 10, and it finally tumbles down to the 5. Davis on a switchback. A.J. Davis lost the ball. It's still loose. Battle continues, and it's in the arms of Tay Gowan for UCF. A massive turnover.
That could be the spark. That could be the thing to get UCF going.
Rolling on the field is a fumble. Recovered by the defense.
See, when this comes out for David, he just lost that. Looks like that was Mitchell who tackled him.
He was engaged, and then he disengaged, got the arm in.
That's a clear fumble and a good recovery for UCF. The spark gives them a short field just outside the red zone. And you really have to be thinking Davis. They really haven't gotten him too involved. And, you know, they had the one pick when they got caught in a zone. But he's really the guy that would light their offense.
He's going to be a blocker here as this goes wide from Marlon Williams. And Davis is his convoy up the sideline to the 21. They put those 2 receivers in a mini bunch.
Yeah, 2 big guys. You got one at Mark Williams at 220 pounds, and then the tall Davis.
Williams in motion. Gabriel down the middle, and there's a flag.
Should be. Yeah, he was held.
Jazzy Stocker into Davis.
Yeah, he grabbed him as Davis ran by him.
Prior to the pass, holding. Defense number 7. 10-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
And he wasn't trying to hide it. He was beaten, and he just reached out and grabbed as much jersey as he could get. Look at that.
Well, when you listen to jazzy music, sometimes it's syncopated. And so he was just messing around with the rhythm there.
Oh, he was off beat.
It's first down and 10, just outside of the 10. And Gabriel hands it off to Killens. Second down coming up. Can UCF get in? Especially important considering Pitt gets the ball after halftime.
Yeah, that's right. One of the adjustments for UCF is to find a rushing attack at halftime.
72 rush yards total. Killens around the corner. He has speed, and he scores. He won back-to-back 200-meter state titles in high school, and you saw why right there.
Yeah, there was a soft edge. He had an escort coming to the edge with a good block out in front in Harris. And once he got to that corner, no problem. One of the few times we've seen the Pitt defense falter, there was no one to set the edge for Pitt.
Dylan Barnes for the extra point. The college football world has learned, do not count out UCF until you really have to, and the Knights are on the comeback trail here in Pittsburgh. 21-7 your score, under 5 to go in the first half. UCF's on the board with this touchdown from Killens.
Yeah, they took advantage of a soft edge, a really nice play. Look at here, when you think about it, you got your guys inside. 28 Johnson is the only possible guy to get to the edge, but he goes inside trying to get to the running back. Well, now you got Hescock out there for a block. You're not fast enough to cut that angle. There is no edge. Now a nice, easy run to get through there by Killens, who just killed them getting to the edge.
Yeah, in this moment, the fumble looks huge for Pitt. Davis coughs it up inside the 35-yard line. Pitt gets the ball after halftime, so a pivotal 5 minutes here to see what UCF's ground they're standing on is, and a kickoff out of bounds is not exactly what the Knights wanted from Orlando. Kenny Pickett to throw with a bullet to the 45. That's Will Gregg, the Arkansas transfer. Malik Carter smells the first down, and he has it. So Carter, who came to Pitt as a defensive back and has turned to running back, getting some run here in game number 4.
Interesting to see how Pitt handles this series in this last 4 minutes. Do they really try and be deliberate, or if they have an opportunity, do they take a shot?
We've talked about Kenny Pickett and his competitiveness. We asked him, how competitive are you? He said, well, I'm competitive in just about everything, including mini golf, to the point where I won't even let my girlfriend win in mini golf.
You may not keep his girlfriend very long.
Yeah, just every once in a while.
Yeah.
If there's a competition gap, which he seemed to suggest there was. He was even competitive in talking about it with us.
Yeah.
So, second down and 13 for Pickett. On the move again. And he's got a third down coming up. Kenny Pickett, whose parents were both athletes. His mom was a soccer player. His dad was a football linebacker, and he's going to go walk and talk to Whipple.
You like the walkover?
I don't mind it for the reasons they stated. Although the scary thing is Pickett said he was a little gassed late in the game last week.
Yeah, it's warm out there. He just ran the ball. Then he ran to the sideline and ran back to the huddle. How do they play 11 Mac on the short side of the field?
He's one-on-one down the field, and that's French intended and incomplete. So 4th down and 9 with $1:12 to go in plus territory, and it looks like they're going to punt.
You must be sound in the kicking game. UCF had a punt blocked. Pitt, are they sound here? Can they put this inside the 10?
Christodoulou does get it inside the 10 for Anderson. Hey, yesterday, a couple of employees from Bristol Myers Squibb came on through. September 4th, they started a 3-week journey to cycle across America, coast to coast for Cancer Ride through Pittsburgh on the way to Long Branch, New Jersey. Dana Vaughns, Eric Mortensen, both cancer survivors. What an opportunity for them to raise awareness and raise some money, and got a chance to talk to you here at Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I had a chance to talk to them about the fact that how their recoveries are going. And Dana, in fact, he already did a leg. He did 200 miles in 2 days with an elevation of up to 14,000 feet. That's some serious cycling.
I know that conversation was special for you and close to your heart.
Oh, absolutely. We shared nice stories about dealing with treatment.
Gabriel got it. Jacob Harris, great adjustment.
All 6'5" of him.
UCF well equipped for the speed here. Gabriel unloads to the sideline. He has Nixon out of bounds at the 46 with 46 seconds to go.
We told you there would be man coverage, and they got a matchup they want. They go after the slot corner there, and Dane Jackson.
They'll run it here with a couple of timeouts remaining. UCF has 2 left.
Well, remember that Harris is 6'5", and so he's got an advantage over just about every matchup.
Gabriel outside for Davis. Did he get a foot in? No. Incomplete. He was out of bounds.
Great throw, but not enough room. Does he get a foot in? Catch. Out of bounds. He's on the white there. I see why they called that.
High throw to the sideline. He wanted Nixon.
A little more conservative approach defensively that time for Pitt. They played 2 safeties back and played aggressive man coverage underneath.
They go to 3 down linemen on 3rd down as they typically do.
They'll bring a 4th rusher, and UCF will have to figure out where he comes from. Who is it?
They bring a 5th and a DB as well to the sideline, and nearly grabbed by Davis, but he couldn't reel it in.
Now Pinnock was not playing man coverage. He turned right away and ran back to a deep 3rd. This has got help from the inside. He's playing a 3 deep position, and look at that. He pulled something as he went up. A little bit of a push there by Davis, but as long as the receiver doesn't fully extend the hand, he's not going to be called for offensive pass interference.
This will be Dylan Barnes, the 22-year-old kicker, the transfer from Mars Hill, officially from 43. Barnes splits him. So 21-10, your halftime score. Josh Heupel's team on the comeback trail. They will play defense when they come on a halftime. Pitt head coach Pat Narduzzi with Quint.
Coach, spin things forward. What's most critical in the 3rd and 4th quarter for your defense?
You know, well, it's not just the defense, it's for everybody. We can't turn the ball over and make critical mistakes like that. We got to put the ball through the upright when we got field goal opportunities, and we got to come out and play 30 more minutes.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.
Halftime score 21-10. When we return, our team in the studio takes over after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Welcome back to the ACC on ABC. Anything but smooth sailing so far today for the UCF Knights, who are unbeaten. They haven't lost a regular season game since 2016, and they're in some peril right now. So what do they have to do, Rod Gilmore, to get back on top?
Well, they've got to find some offense and play the game at their tempo. That hasn't happened so far because Pitt has taken UCF out of its game. I mean, if you start with the defense of Pitt, it's been fantastic, but UCF is just not in sync. They're not running inside, and they're not throwing the ball down the field as they normally do.
Adrian Killen says their only touchdown so far. They did get the running game untracked slightly on that touchdown drive, but not to the point where we've seen this very sleek offense. And there's the guy, A.J. Davis, who had a strong first half for Pitt until he put the ball on the deck, leading to that Killen's touchdown. And so Pitt will have the ball. Davis out of the Wildcat on first down. They're going to do it again, and he is just a couple of yards short of the first down marker.
You know, they saved this until the second half. Again, that's film study. That's looking at that Stanford tape and going, you know, when Stanford went Wildcat, they had a lot of success. Too bad they weren't in the ball game long enough to keep doing it. Here's a third straight dose of it from Pitt. And
this one they're on. Brendan Hayes goes high, and it's third down. Why do you think it worked so well against UCF last week with Stanford?
Well, Stanford went in and game planned for it, and they had the extra tight end. You have an extra blocker when you do Wildcat. You don't have a ball carrier who steps away. So they had a one-man advantage, and it took UCF a little bit to adjust to it, and they were way ahead, so Stanford didn't stick with it.
Pickett back in. Davis to his left. Kenny Pickett too high. Davis had a lot of room in front of him. Would have been a first down. Instead, it's punt time.
Yeah, he had him out there. You know, a decent throw. He catches that and easily picks up the first down. That's where some of the inconsistency shows up that's held Pickett back a little bit. But you have to take into consideration, Pickett is in his third year. He's had 3 offensive coordinators. He's been taught a lot of different things in a short period of time.
Christodoulou to punt, and the Pitt defense should be back on the field with that strong defensive line. We talked about him in the first half. Jalen Twyman. Quint Kesnick spent some time with the sophomore out of D.C. just yesterday.
Okay, so boom, I can't get the swim under. I'm gonna go with the rip, and if you hold on to me, I'm gonna try to forklift it off, and you got me locked up. I might try to do a forklift or something like that. Or
you call that forklift?
I might try to sumo. Like sumo wrestling,
and they get inside me.
Yes, sir. So I'm getting like this and trying to get in your chest. I don't know, man. You look kind of strong for your age.
Weigh 100.
Hey, old guy, what was the forklift like? What did you learn from him?
I learned a ton in like 10 minutes. He taught me more pass rushing moves than I had learned in my whole high school career as a nose guard. He has a great pin and swim move. As Mathis is down and in pain.
Yeah, Q. He ran into Hessock
field for injury.
Up high and took the worst of that.
The clock will start.
So during the break, Damari Mathis came off, and the play where he was injured was under review for a possible targeting foul as he hit Hessock, and the official word is no targeting.
Yeah, it was looking at leading with the crown, but you have a couple of instances there to consider. Both players lead with the crown. Arguably, Mathis led with his left shoulder, and it was the tight end who ducked his head that initiated the contact. So a good no call.
Dillon Gabriel, the freshman, wings it for Davis. Gabe Davis has it. He beat Pinnock down to the 20-yard line. And for a kid they always said wasn't fast enough in high school, that's a big hit of 65. McCray sidestepped one and kept his feet in the arms of Jazzy Stocker, who went for a bit of a ride.
And you notice, go back to that last play, finally Gabriel had protection in time to make that deep throw.
And it was on target. McCray running hard now, and he is right near the marker. It looks like they're going to put him right at the 10-yard line and say first down.
Let's talk about the halftime adjustments for UCF. They did not run the ball well inside in the first half. They're committed to it now, and they protected Gabriel to get the ball down the field and focused on and uncovered Davis.
A bust, a complete bust. Pitt was running somebody off the field on the snap, and Gabe Davis scores.
You got to get lined up. You can't let the best receiver on the field line up against air, and they just did.
Pitt ran a corner off right in front of where I'm standing, leaving that wide receiver wide open.
Unbelievable.
It was Williams that was rushing off. UCF with a lot of time remaining, just going to go for the one and take it. So 17 unanswered by UCF, and the substitution fiasco hurts Pitt big time.
Yeah, you just can't have that. There's Pinnock coming on, and he's waiting someone on. He runs off, and there's no one at all near Davis. As you see, there was Williams trying to run from the far side to him. You know, you got to at least call a timeout. You can't let that happen.
That's exactly what Narduzzi told us. He's most fearful of the guys who've never seen UCF before. Tempo does some things to your heart rate. Freshman Vincent Davis is in his tailback. Gragg in front. They keep both in. Pickett goes for the shot to French, and he put it on his hands. It's incomplete. Neville Clark was there.
Yeah, good coverage by Clark and a perfectly well thrown ball by Pickett, and French could not come up with it. Now he gets on him in a hurry. When you're even, you're leaving, right? And Clark at the last minute gets that right hand in there. That is a great, great defensive play.
Tremendous effort to close by Clark. He's broken up 2 passes. He's made 3 tackles. He is the senior out of Miami. 2nd down and 25. They need a couple of explosive plays maybe. And this will be a run on 1st down for Davis. And he's only got a couple of yards. Vincent Davis, the freshman, who's from Fort Lauderdale, just 3 hours away from UCF's campus in Orlando.
Now, if you're Randy Shannon, do you try to create something here on this 3rd and long? Do you bring a little extra pressure to see if you can create a turnover and get a short field?
So this is 3rd down, and French off the screen. French cuts it upfield and gets hogtied. Richie Grant was in once again after that form tackle earlier, and Pitt, which went backward with the penalty against Gragg, will have to punt.
And remember, the last time that UCF had the ball, they found their inside rushing attack, something that wasn't there in the first half. The yards they got in the first half, they were on the edge, on the perimeter, using Killen.
And the scary part right now for Pitt is UCF has its footing again.
Yep. Yep.
There's no backpedaling right now for the Knights. Krista Dulu to punt. And it's away for Anderson, who has to go all the way back inside the 10. Anderson to the outside, showing the speed. Otis Anderson ducks through 1, keeps his feet again off a pirouette, sees the cavalry coming and switches back. Anderson, touchdown! Oh my! A stunned Steel City off 87 yards of brilliance from Anderson.
What a terrific run.
And just like that, the unbeaten Knights are alive and thriving.
You want to talk about a punt returner at his best? Man, he just did all that and brought UCF right back in this ball game.
I mean, Quint mentioned it. There was little life, if any, on that sideline in the first half, and it's a totally different situation right now for UCF, which has taken the lead. Kenny Pickett giving ground. Pickett throws it away.
I think they went into the locker room with hope after a nice 5 minutes, last 5 minutes of that second quarter. They came out of the locker room, guys, with smiles. I was standing down by that tunnel, like looking at these guys. They're smiling and happy, almost as if to say, you know, we're so used to being the front runner and being up 25-0 early. This is different. This will be more revealing about our character as a team, a brotherhood that they say is like none other.
The challenge they needed.
Well, they have the full emotional scale. They're both upstart and favorite over the course of their season a lot, and sometimes in the same game, as this one goes to the short side.
Yeah, now the question becomes, who's the go-to guy here? They've got a trips formation, but they've been having trouble getting off the line of scrimmage against press coverage.
Mack is in the slot. And this is incomplete, and a flag comes in. Aaron Robinson on the coverage against Carter.
There is no foul for defensive pass interference. The ball did not cross the line of scrimmage.
Oh.
Okay.
It is 4th down.
Watch the right arm, though, as he comes in. He really throws that right arm. It was kind of a vicious hit with the right arm, which got my attention. I thought that might have been what they were going for.
You know why the ball didn't cross the line of scrimmage? Because he threw the receiver across the line of scrimmage to meet the ball shy of the line of scrimmage.
That's a good point. Because that right arm, that hit was a big, vicious hit and knocked him back.
And he didn't have to either. He's well behind the line to gain. So the crowds are not exactly loving it here in Pittsburgh. And Krista Dulu with the punt. That bounces out of bounds. Killins on the run. He's got a couple of yards, and that's been a difference for UCF in the last quarter or so is the run game. The serenade continues for the flag from moments ago.
Problem there. That matchup problem with the 6 or 5-inch guy in the slot.
Harris had a big catch earlier. Instead, topside. Trey Nixon breaks a tackle, and off he goes. Nixon out of bounds in the arms of Stocker, and a first down. UCF. There's one of those big plays for 31.
Yeah, missed tackle. I mean, all the things that Pitt did right in the first half, they're doing wrong in the second half. Leaving a receiver uncovered, not covering a kick return, punt return, a missed tackle here.
Gabriel for Hescock, the Wisconsin transfer, his former team with a big win earlier today against Michigan. It's not exactly a drizzle for UCF. It comes in large downpour spurts, and they keep the pressure on, which leads to second halves like this that you're seeing as John Morgan rips down the ball carrier Killins in third down.
Well, the good news for UCF, they're back at their tempo. Look at this. Look how quickly they're up. They want to snap there within 10 seconds.
Look over here, slows it down slightly, but not much. Movement at the line. Flag is in. Free play. Davis down the sideline. Got it again! Now the question is, did Davis maybe step out of bounds on the sideline? It doesn't look like it.
Offside. Defense. Penalty is declined. The result of the play, touchdown.
I don't know why Pinnock is out there. He cannot run. They're asking him to play man coverage against one of the best receivers in the game, and he cannot run.
So after 229 last week for Gabe Davis, he's got 2 big strikes today. And the extra point's good.
Well, Pitt's made it easy. Davis is good enough. One time they didn't cover him on the goal line, and this time he's running against a guy who can't run. What a great catch.
Jason Pinnock just got beat by Gabe Davis again, and UCF has a 10-point lead.
Yeah, either he can't be out there or they can't ask him to play man-to-man coverage and press. Look, he's got a bad hammy. Look at it. He cannot keep up. He can't run. So you either take him out or you roll him up at the corner to have him out there, but you can't ask him to play man coverage, particularly against one of the best receivers in the game. And look what's happened in the second half. Just the yardage and the inability of Pitt now to move the ball.
That's a whole first half for UCF of 159 yards, and then 6 and change to go in the third quarter. They've doubled it. So Pitt gets it back at the 25. But for UCF, unbeaten at 3-0, trying to beat a second straight Power 5 opponent. We saw them a couple of years ago in a bowl game dismantle Auburn. They lost to LSU last year in the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl. French jogs down the sideline, and a flag is in again where Pickett was throwing the ball. It's down at the 40.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense number 93. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the run. Automatic first down.
That's Landon Woodson this time.
Seemed like they're protecting the quarterbacks a little better today, Rod.
Yeah, so it's pretty easy.
That was a hot topic for you a couple weeks ago.
Well, it's a pretty easy call when he grabs the quarterback around the neck, around the helmet. But there's no question, Q, that the NFL does a better job of protecting quarterbacks, maybe to an extreme, than the college guys do.
Yeah, we've gotten varying opinions on that from college coaches this year, and sometimes it depends on which side of the ball they sit on or played on. Pickett in the car wash, gets away from it, and a spin. Beautiful little spin from Pickett, and he's got a first down. This is a kid that one time in high school played defensive end, so there's certainly toughness, and a flag comes in to join him down on the field. Narduzzi is worried about his quarterback, who's drawn now 3 flags on this drive.
Pickett's a great scrambler. You plug in their tape from week 1 against Virginia.
After the play was over, dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct, taunting. Defense number 54. After distance to the goal, automatic, first down.
Cam Good's having a bad drive.
That's 30 yards in penalties on this drive by Cam Good.
Looks like something with his throwing arm for Pickett.
We'll follow him along the sideline. Pickett.
He'll get a ball and try to work it out here. Could be his hand, elbow, or shoulder. Something with that right arm.
So Nick Patty, the redshirt freshman out of Hillsdale, New Jersey, who went to 3 straight state title games.
Well, and Jeff George, the 3rd-string quarterback, is in as a wide receiver as well. 2 quarterbacks in.
This is a run for Carter, and he's to the 6. So Nick Patty, redshirt freshman, getting his first run as an FBS quarterback. Going to talk to his offensive coordinator, Whipple.
Well, you have to be thinking in terms of who do you trust down here with your quarterback out. You get the ball to French, you get him coming around. Do you trust your quarterback to throw it? I would think you got to get French involved somehow in something inside kind of run.
Patty will throw, looking for that first touchdown. He gets spun around. Patty, eyes downfield, touchdown. His first, it goes to Butler Jenkins, and Pitt's back on the board. See how amped they were for Patty with his first touchdown pass?
What composure he had. He actually had choices out there. So he rolls to his left, and it's a choice of Butler Jenkins as he spins out of this. Now he's got Butler Jenkins, and he has French deep. Smart decision to make the shorter throw to Butler Jenkins, and what a terrific job of extending the play and keeping his composure.
So a UCF team that's won back-to-back American Conference titles sees the backup quarterback Nick Patty with a high-level football beard.
You like that?
Oh, great football beard. Baseball mustaches and football beards. Killens on the return. He's fast. Killens keeps his feet and now goes down at the 29.
Look, UCF is as good for college football now as Boise State was when they had their run during the BCS era. And everybody wanted to see Boise State bust the BCS. So it's great for college football, and we need this discussion, and we need new blood. But they got to earn it, too.
They're trying to right here. They were down 21-0. UCF has come back to take the lead, and we have a wonderful fourth quarter. College football returns after this message and a word from our ABC stations. You've missed the first 3 quarters. Where you been? We need a Pacific Life game summary. Big splash plays everywhere. Dillon Gabriel, a couple of touchdowns. Pitt 335 total yards, but the comeback is on for UCF. Run for Anderson. You know, we saw Milton, we saw Gabriel, and we asked the coaching staff, are you on the next quarterback from Hawaii? And they said, absolutely. We're asking Dillon and McKenzie, and we've got a guy that we're looking at.
Well, they had an inside guy to get Gabriel.
For Gabe Davis, who's tackled immediately by Dane Jackson, the senior DB. One of the last remaining corners available for Pitt with all the injuries, and a big third down.
There's the guy. There's the guy you should be looking at. You got a third-string freshman out there who's 5'8", 170.
Instead, they run it, and Anderson can't pick his way to the line to gain.
Yeah, I don't get this. You know, this is a game of matchups. All games are games of matchup. And you've got an inexperienced corner out there against one of your top receivers. And he's a foot taller. And he's nervous. Trust me, been there.
Gotta be, right?
Yeah. So you gotta take shots at that.
Josh Heupel was not very happy on the sideline with the way that drive went. French on the move. Maurice French held on to across the 40-yard line. Pitt will have good field position on a net of 26. As Pickett in the offense embarks here with Vincent Davis, the freshman, needling his way across the 50-yard line. Nice run from Davis.
Yeah, they really haven't run the ball well in the second half. Only 40 yards prior to that run. And they may have to incorporate a little bit of the passing game to the backs out of the backfield if they don't get more rushing.
Davis again, past Evans to the outside, and he did find the corner on a first down. So Vincent Davis, the native of Fort Lauderdale, playing against UCF. He had the first state title in high school history at Cardinal Gibbons High School down in Fort Lauderdale, but he had to come all the way north to play FBS football. Pickett down the middle, and that is batted, incomplete. There's a flag down. Gowan got in. Looks like another late hit on Pickett.
How many is that on UCF? Personal fouls, late hits.
They're just fanning the flames at this point.
Unbelievable. I understand the frustration, but you know, Hayes knows better.
But why be frustrated? You're leading. You've come back, and
it's the ball gets out, and he was right there. He wants to take the hit. You got to ease up, and you know, and it's the right call. We should be doing a better job of protecting quarterbacks at the collegiate level. It's a good call.
Fourth this half as Pickett off his back foot, and no comeback available for Mack against Clark. Second down.
You think Pinnock is going to be a little sore tomorrow?
Oh yeah, a lot of these guys are going to be sore tomorrow. And look, Kenny Pickett has taken a lot of hits. We mentioned in high school there's one game he played defensive end, and that was because there was an option team on the other side. He told us that it was basically all game long he was picking up the fullback and just ramming heads with the guy. And he looked at the guy at the end of the game and was like, why are we doing this? What is being made of this? Pickett with a dart for just a couple of yards. And third down coming up as Robinson drives through on the tackle.
Pickett's also logged a lot of miles. 50 yards per play. It's 25 over to the offensive coordinator and 25 back. Times how many plays? Do the math.
Yeah, he's got to be the one guy who's not in favor of this walkover concept where he's got to go see Mark Whipple, the offensive coordinator, after each play and then get back to the field.
We joke, but this piles up in a game of 60 minutes.
Yeah.
Remember, Pitt missed a field goal earlier, and so they are in range, but the question is, what is the range right now? Pickett got it away to French, and it'll be fourth down and a couple of yards. So Pat Narduzzi has a fourth down and a field goal opportunity to tie the game. He had fourth and goal last week, didn't go for it. He's going to kick here for the tie.
I think he's reluctantly going for this because I don't get the feeling he's got great confidence in his kicker right now. He did miss one earlier. That should have been an automatic one.
This is from 41 for Kessman, who's missed 4 times already this year in 4 games. Kessman sends it wide again.
Yeah.
He's missed from 41 and from 35.
I don't think there's going to be much choice in decision making on fourth down going forward today for Narduzzi, but that's wonderful. That's wonderful. I'm still going to need you.
And he may in a 3-point game. John Major's here today, a guy who got them one of those championships. UCF, Ron, would love to have a national championship. They've got to go undefeated to do it, and they have the lead right now.
Yeah, I don't think it's possible this year. I don't think the schedule works for them. What they would need with this higher bar, they need Stanford and they need Pitt to win their conferences.
First down catch, so second down coming up. I mean, the counter argument there is UCF has done everything that you've asked. They've gone out and scheduled a couple of Power 5 teams. They've beaten everybody in the regular season the last couple of years. And you'd love for, I mean, just as a fan of somebody who watches the NCAA basketball tournament, you'd love to have that upstart in there to create an upset.
I get it, I understand it, but that's not what we have. That's not the current system. The bar is higher for the group of 5 guys. Think of it in business terms. This is the way the Power 5 look at it. Catch the play.
It's a third down. Gabriel, the freshman, down the sideline. He uncorks for Nixon. Trey Nixon, got underneath. Man, they did it again.
You have to love the route by Nixon. He looks like an outfielder. He put his head down and started running, and then in the last 5-7 yards, looked up to find the ball. Beautiful. Well, this has been proven that Nixon is going to run by guys who do press coverage on him. Down here, he's done that 3 times already this half.
Gabriel loads it up again, down the sideline, and that is incomplete.
Incomplete, out of bounds.
There's a flag in. We'll check the marker.
That was Harris, 6'5" and out of bounds.
It's a little crisscross route on the outside with Davis and Harris.
There's no foul for pass interference. It is third down. Question, correction, it is second down.
So second down and 20 because of the penalty on Jordan Johnson, the center for UCF, who I knew drew your attention this week, Quint.
He's a 320-pound vegan, and that's hard to comprehend. I mean, how much vegetable, tofu, and beans do you have to eat to maintain a 320-pound physique?
How is that even possible? How can you play football and not eat meat?
He says he feels a lot better based on recovery, considering his new diet. Gabriel again wants the sideline ball, and this time right at the edge for Harris, and he's out of bounds one more time.
A very smart play by Hamlin, the safety, using the sideline to his benefit. Watch him sort of back Harris to the corner. Left foot out, right foot, doesn't matter. I'm surprised that we haven't seen Pitt drop off in coverage and let their guys have their eyes on the quarterback. I know they want to get pressure on Gabriel, but their guys are not holding up in man-to-man coverage.
They rush 5. Gabriel gets it away, and he's got it down to the 11-yard line for Davis. So now on fourth down coming up in a 3-point game with Pitt a little hazy on field goals. Do you go for it?
Well, you did before, so you might as well now, right? You didn't go for it there just to settle for a field goal down here. Unless you did.
Unless you do. So 4th and 7, they're not going to go. Barnes will kick, but again, there's a chance Pitt doesn't want to kick a field goal anyway, and they're going to go for more touchdowns than they would have otherwise based on the scenario. So we'll see if Barnes can knock it through. And he does, so UCF has taken a 6-point lead. Unbeaten UCF, 34-28. Pitt will get it when we come back. Into the end zone it goes, and French going to take it out, trailing by 6. Maurice French, almost in slow motion, gets it to the 21-yard line. Vincent Davis is the tailback. And he gets the opening carry of this drive and swerves past the 30-yard line in the arms of Nate Evans.
That's a good start. Take some pressure off your quarterback. Make it a little bit easier. Let other guys step in and help him out some.
UCF trying to stay undefeated and keep that championship dream alive. Wanting to keep pounding down the door of that college football playoff. Another run and a first down for Davis, pinballing to the 37.
Well, they were hunting linebackers and did a really good job of getting on Evans that time so that he couldn't get involved in the play. Evans is the leader of that defense, and he's got great speed and can chase things down. When you block him, you got a chance.
Pickett climbing the pocket. Over the middle, got French. It's a first down for Pitt, just short of midfield.
Yeah, a little high throw left French hanging out there where he took a big hit. You see that accuracy is still a little bit off for Pickett.
Officials timeout for injured player.
So French is up but hobbling.
He's wide open. See, his ball's high. He exposed his man, and Hayes took full advantage of giving him a shot.
Maurice French, when Pitt came to recruit him at his high school in New Jersey, he wanted to stand out. So he wore neon green gloves and tights and cleats and just about everything else neon green. He stood out so much, Pitt offered him, and then once a year, every year, his high school has a neon green game to celebrate what a presence he was back home. Greg, the tight end, in the flat, and Greg drags a man for a first down.
That's
that was
what
Evans.
we're talking about. A little short passing game, take some pressure off of Pickett. But what you said about French makes a whole lot of sense. I mean, he was a star there, and that neon outfit lives on at his old high school.
Yeah, they loved him there. New Brunswick High School. His basketball coach was actually the brother of NFL receiver Mohamed Sanu, who he learned a lot from. Pickett steps up, feels the rush. Pickett tucks, and he slides.
And a great decision by Hayes, number 11. He didn't take a shot, would have been flagged. He saw that Pickett was sliding. That's a really smart play just to walk away.
UCF needs some fresh legs on this D line right now. They're getting no kind of explosive pass rush.
The only rush there was on the second chance from Charlton late in the play. As Pickett's high again, Rod. It's third down. And this Pitt fan base needs to take a couple of deep breaths after the close loss last week against Penn State and a final drive here with 2 timeouts.
Yeah, Pickett is just hanging in there, fighting through this. He's been beat up. He's tired. He's winded. You know, like a pitcher who loses accuracy because they're laboring. I mean, all his throws are off. His fundamentals have started to fail him a little bit, and he's just doing what he can to get the ball out. He's got to be hurting after the way he's been knocked around today.
He was out for a couple of drives. Patty came in and threw a touchdown pass. Pickett on the move again. Pickett is high once again. He had a first down with Griffin Stewart, and he missed the target. So 4th down and 5.
Here he's got to do something right. He's got to give Pickett an option to use his legs if he doesn't find the pass that he wants.
You got French there in the backfield, and now he motions out. 4th down for Pitt, and movement at the line for UCF. And they'll blow it dead. Pickett hit Mack. The play is blown dead. There was contact at the line.
Offside with contact.
That's it.
Defense number 13. That 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
It's the contact that blew the play dead. Otherwise, the play could have continued.
Please reset the game clock to 2:11. 2:11 on the game clock, please. Thank you.
Now, the other thing that can stop the play, even if there's not contact, if the lineman moves,
Reacts
once
to
the
it.
defensive lineman moves into the neutral zone, if the offensive line reacts, that can also blow it dead. So first down for Pickett, the junior quarterback for Pitt. From the 30. Pickett Down the middle. He has Mack just outside of the 10.
Well, the matchup you like. You've got him in the slot working against Grant, the safety. That is a mismatch. You don't want the safety covering a fleet-footed receiver. They put him in the slot, and they got the matchup they wanted.
Number 11 went quiet for about 2 quarters, but Mack has returned here in the 4th. Design run for Pickett. And he rummages for a couple, hit high by Mitchell. 2nd down. They can get a 1st down inside the 2.
And there's no reason for them to rush or hurry. It's up to UCF to start thinking about timeouts.
Takes their 2nd charge timeout of the half.
And there it is, just as you said.
This is a 30-second timeout.
That is a fun bunch from Orlando. On their heels right now, 2nd down and 6. Pickett. Over the middle, batted away.
What a play.
Gowan.
What a play by Gowan. He was beaten inside. This ball, if it's thrown out in front, is a touchdown. But because it wasn't in front, that gave Gowan an opportunity to get his hand in. Watch here. If that ball's in front, it's a touchdown. It's behind, and Gowan makes the play.
What an effort.
Terrific job.
Pickett steps up. Pickett tucks the ball, and he's inside the 5. Another 4th down and short in the 4th quarter from Pitt, rapping on the door.
Do you call a timeout if you're Pitt to make sure you've got the right play that you want for the game, essentially? Q, you have to assume if you're Pitt, you're going to get pressure. You're going to get 5 or 6 guys coming, so it's probably going to have to be fast. And if it's fast, you may have to have your tight end be available. I would assume that Mack, number 11, is the preferred receiver, but he's probably going to get a lot of attention down here.
French is on the bench. Surprised to see that.
UCF's perfection is dangling on a 4th down and 3. Davis. Matthews. Got it! Pickett caught it, and Pitt ties the game. What creativity!
Who goes trickeration on the goal line with the game hanging in the balance? Boise State a few years ago. But otherwise, my goodness, how about that? Pickett on the receiving end.
Kessman has missed 2 field goals, but not this one. Look at the smile for that kid. And the mob. Adamitis, his snapper, right in his face, and Pitt has put UCF on the edge.
To do all of that ball handling on the goal line is very risky, especially if you're expecting blitz. They fake this into the Wildcat. There's one toss, and now you've got Matthews throwing to your quarterback. Wow. Wow.
Look, it looks exactly like Philly special down the road.
And Davis almost lost that ball. You've got a snap, you've got a toss, and a pass. I mean, you really have to, whoa, you got a lot of confidence to call a play like that.
.56 seconds now, and no timeouts for UCF and its unblemished record.
Narduzzi and Whipple, with calls like that, they should be on a plane to Vegas. Wow.
Dillon's into the end zone, and he'll let it roll. So 56 seconds. Freshman quarterback Dillon Gabriel. Under pressure, and down he goes. Patrick Jones again.
Look at that defensive line. Jones has had a whale of a game. Twyman, 97, has also had a whale of a game. They've been dominant inside.
Mackenzie Milton's been teaching Gabriel a lot. Has he prepared him for this? Gabriel tipped and incomplete. It was up there in the ether off the hand of Harris, and it's 3rd and 13.
And they have a ways to go. You probably have to get down to the 35-yard line to have a shot at a game-winning field goal. That's a good 35-plus yards away.
Barnes's career long is 43. He has hit from 42 today. Heupel's got 11 to snap, and rarely does the play clock become a factor for UCF. Gabriel, 3rd down. The walls collapse again. And down he goes. It is Jalen Twyman, the outstanding sophomore.
Well, no need to complain about a prevent defense. Pat Narduzzi has not come off the gas. He's brought 5. He brought 4. And the safeties are playing back 20, 25 yards.
It would have to be a very immaculate reception for UCF. Caught initially by Davis, then Nixon. McRae's driven down, and the Pitt Panthers have stolen one and put a blemish on the Knights. So close for Dillon Gabriel, and he suffers his first loss as a collegiate quarterback. But how about Pitt?
Wow.
Downstairs, Quint Kesnick.
Coach Narduzzi, what was the name of the play call on the winning touchdown?
Pitt special. Pitt special. Heck of a call. Heck of a job executing. We didn't execute last week, Quinn. Guys executed today. I'm so proud of this football team being so resilient. The ups and downs of the game were up 21. They came back and scored 24 unanswered. Our kids stayed together. Incredible game. Our kids got guts. Our kids are we're a good darn football team. I'm proud of these guys.
Your quarterback took some hits today. He showed a lot of courage, Coach. He catches the winning touchdown. What's that like?
Hey, I tell you what, that virtual deal, Kenny Pickett's a football player. It's a heck of a play. Aaron Matthews to Kenny Pickett. That's the drive.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thanks,
for Jason.
Quinn, thank you. How about it? Pitt special, just down the road a piece from Philly. Normally, Pittsburgh and Philly don't come together as harmoniously, but they do tonight.
What an effort by Pitt, and the story will be UCF, and their chase for the playoff is now a thing of the past.
But they put up a valiant effort, these Knights did. So, Pittsburgh in a stunner, 35-34 over UCF. Coming up next on ABC, Oklahoma State and number 12, Texas. For Quint Kesnick and Rod Gilmore, I'm Jason Benetti. We thank you for watching. So long from Pittsburgh. What a game.